Okay. All right. Good morning. Welcome everyone to Tuesday Yoga. Nice to see you. Hope everyone is well. Let's come on into a nice comfortable space. I'm going to start upright. You can join me there, or if you prefer another position this morning, then of course go ahead and take that. Whatever allows your body some comfort and ease as we start. Just come into our breath and try to clear our head, soften our body a little bit. So I'll leave my hand here. All right, so coming into your comfortable place, letting your shoulders get heavy, so hands resting somewhere on your lap. And then take an inhale through the nose, send it out through the mouth. And with that exhale, just try to let your whole physical body soften a little bit. Do that again, or a couple of times, as many times as allows your body, wherever you might be holding a little tension, your neck, your shoulders, your jaw, your face, your hips. For each of us, it's different. We all probably know those spaces where we tend to hold on to the stress. So just a few deep breaths, either through the nose and mouth or just through the nose to get started. As you just let everything start to soften and arrive here on your mat, in your space. And then let your hands rest. Actually, let's just start. We'll take one more breath in and bring the arms overhead. And then interlace the fingers, send the palms to the sky, really stretch up the whole body even taller, and then exhale and just float them down. And then let them rest on your lap or hand in hand, or you can find a mudra to allow your focus to sort of come into those fingertips. Let your face soften, the eyelids get heavy. And we'll start to just come into our breath, try to clear the thoughts, settle the thoughts, clear the head. And just watching the breath come in and out. You can start with a few deep breaths and then settle into your natural pace, your easy breath without really trying to control it much. But just recognizing that you are sitting up tall and maybe the center, the abdominal core is working just a tiny bit to keep you upright and vertical. And then just really starting to watch the breath. Just letting the inhale fill you up, the exhale soften you. And really trying to fill that front space of the head and whatever else is going on there, pushing it aside, pressing pause, letting the breath be the focal point. Let's just take a few more rounds of the easy breath here. The next breath in, bring the arms overhead again, bring the palms together, and then bring them through to your heart center. We'll pause here to set our intention, dedication, or focus for your thoughts. Just try to breathe it in, just see what comes up in front of your mind this morning. Breathe it in. When you're ready, release the hands back into your lap. Take another breath in through the nose. Send it out through the mouth. And then with the next inhale, take the arms overhead. And then bring the right hand down. Keep the left hand extended. Take another breath in and lengthen up, lifting that left side rib cage, and then exhale. Just take an easy bend over to the right. Start to feel that left side body really lengthening. And just let your body soften in here for a few rounds of breath. Take this as deep, as far as feels good to you. You can be like all the way over or really upright. Don't push it further than your body feels comfortable going, but try to feel a nice stretch there, really sending the fingertips toward the right side. And then with your next inhale, come back up to center. And we'll switch sides. Take the right fingertips high. Take an inhale, lengthen up. Feel that right side ribcage lift up. And then as you exhale, take it over to the left. And again, just letting the body soften in here. Another full round of breath. And then using an inhale, come back up. And then take both arms high. Inhale. Interlace the fingers to the tops and the palms to the sky. Take another breath in and lengthen up. And then as you exhale, we'll just round. As you slowly let the hands come down toward the earth, rounding through the back body. Just taking your time, letting the arms come all the way down. And then when you get there, maybe just tense your fingertips to round through the spine. Really send the breath into the back body there. So you can see I'm kind of like hunched over. Expanding spine. And then just walk the hands back toward, come all the way back to an upright. We'll just do a little bit of neck lengthening. So let's start by dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. Maybe that left hand extends long, or maybe the right hand. And just start to lengthen the left side of the neck. And softening here, letting the muscles ease in themselves. And then slowly just start to take your full chin towards center. Stopping anywhere along the way for one more breath. Breathing into any areas that feel tight. Muscles feel strained. And you get all the way to center, just pausing there. And then using the fingers on your forehead center to guide the head back up. Pause at the center, and then we'll take the left ear to the left shoulder. Any variation of the hands. And whenever you're ready, start to take your chin to center. Moving slowly. Pausing when you get there. And then fingertips on your forehead center to guide the head all the way back up. And then just take a couple rolls of the shoulders. Try to just follow the breath. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you let them drop down your back. And reversing that direction. Just trying to loosen up all those muscles in the back body, the tops of the shoulders, trapezoids, the rhomboids. And then just take a glance over the right shoulder, back to center, take the gaze over the left. Sort of wake up, moving the neck in all directions, back to center, take it all the way to the sky or toward the back of your room. And back up, and then bring it all the way back down. And all the way back up. And just any other movements in that whole area help make sure those muscles feel nice and soft and relaxed. And then we'll roll over our ankles and knees and come onto our table. Come onto all fours. We'll just start to wake up the spine, moving through some cat-cows. So start by balancing your shoulders over the wrists, your hips over the knees. And then go ahead and drop your heart with the tail. Reversing the breath, reversing the body. Take this as slow or as fast as your body is moving, as your breath is moving this morning. And then go ahead and add any other movements here. You can wag your tail side to side, glancing over the opposite shoulder, or rolling the shoulders out over the wrists a little bit in some small circles. Hips back over the knees. Adding that all together into one big serpentine. So take any or all of those movements that help you bring breath and awareness to the different areas. And then come back to your neutral table. And let's come into our puppy dog, Anahatasana. So keeping the hips balanced over the knees, start to walk the hands forward. Start to drop the chest. So get into that thoracic spine. And slowly just lowering down until your body reaches its edge. And then go ahead and turn your forehead or maybe your chin. Some of you maybe drop your chest all the way in. You come to whichever area. You can breathe comfortably. Another full round of breath. And then bringing the weight into your forearms, slowly start to just slither all the way onto your belly. Come into your Sphinx pose. So letting your lower body soften here. You can give a little sway of the hips to try to encourage those muscles to relax. And then the elbows are under the shoulders, forearms forward, fingers spread wide, and then just gently grounding down through the elbows, lifting the belly button, lifting the heart, and then soften down through the shoulders. And just feel the front of the body lengthening, the heart lifting, the gaze is just straight ahead. Take another breath in, and then exhale, gently release down, slide your hands back by your heart, and just press everything back to a child's pose. So slowly move your hips back. You can keep your fingertips tented forward, forehead toward the earth. And just breathing into that back body. And then with your next inhale, come forward, come back through your table, and come back into your neutral table. So find the balance, shoulders and hips. Bring your awareness to your core, so feel that engaging without sacrificing the breath. So make sure you're still breathing fully through the nose, but you feel those core muscles working to support and protect the lower back. And then let's step the left toes back. Try to find all 5 toes on the earth so that that left hip is dialing down and squaring. And then we'll take the right fingertips forward, lengthen them. And if you want, then go ahead and lift that back foot a couple of inches, flexing through the heel. And make sure as you lift that foot that you don't drop into the lower back. So keeping that belly strong and really trying to create the length. Breathing fully. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, bring the elbow and knee into center, round through the spine. And feel those muscles engaging. And then release forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, round into center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. And then go ahead and release both hand and knee down. And then take a breath through your cat-cow, dropping the heart, lifting the tail. And then as you reverse your breath, reverse the body. And back to neutral. pausing there for a breath, and we'll take the other side. Stepping the right toes back, squaring that hip down, setting the left fingertips forward. Really reaching them forward, then lifting that back foot, flexing the heel, engaging the core, lengthening, breathing. Take another full breath. And then inhale and lengthen. As you exhale, elbow to knee, round through the spine, engaging those core. Another breath here. And then release and lengthen. Inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. And one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. And then release everything down. Cat-cow with each breath. And then go ahead and send your hips back to your heels. Again, child's pose. Hands can come back by your heels this time. Forehead toward the earth. Rounding through the back body. Breathing into the back body. And let's open the knees wide and come into a wide knee child's pose. So using the width of your mat as a guide. You might be narrower, you might be wider, but using that as a guide to start. And come into and just bring some awareness and sensation to the hips. And you can walk your forearms forward as a support or bring any other support in front of you. Or maybe you stack your wrists, stack your fists, something so that your head can rest. Or maybe you turn one side of the head. And sending the breath into that hip joint, that whole area. If you do have your one cheek turned, just turn it the opposite way. And we'll stay for a few more breaths. Take another full breath here. And then we'll slowly start to come out. So bringing weight back onto your forearms. Start to lift the hips, walk the knees back toward one another. And then walk everything long, coming back down onto your belly, coming into your sphinx. So again, letting the lower body soften, maybe a little sway through the hips. Elbows under shoulders, forearms spread forward. And then gently grounding down, lifting up, softening the shoulders. And just, again, feeling the front of the body lengthen, especially now through the front of the hip flexors. And take another breath in. And then exhale and gently release everything down. We'll open up through the shoulders a little bit. So taking the right arm all the way out flat, like a T. And we'll roll onto that right hip. You can keep the feet stacked, opening up to the degree that feels good to your shoulder, your spine, the whole back body here. So if you try to open too much, you're going to feel probably some strain somewhere there. You don't want to feel any strain. You just want to feel a nice stretch and release. So find the place there and then just pause and take a few deep breaths. And for those of you with tight shoulders, this is a great one to spend some time in to really just soften through the muscles and the ligaments and tendons in that whole shoulder region. Take another 2 breaths here. And gently release as you come back to center. We'll switch sides, bringing the left arm all the way out. Try to get the palm nice and flat onto the ground, and then rolling onto your left hip. And opening up to your own degree. Take another 2 rounds of breath here. And then gently releasing, coming back through center. And come back onto your belly. And this time we're going to interlace the hands on the lower back, coming into a locust. So interlace the fingers, or if you have a strap, or if your shoulders are tight, just maybe grab the back of your shirt there. Or you can open up the arms like an airplane too. And then just rolling, making sure the tops of your thighs, tops of your feet are squaring. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift the toes, bring the shoulder blades onto the back and lift from the heart. Send the knuckles to the back of the room. Try not to bring the gaze too far up. You want to try to keep the neck long. So keep the gaze right off the front edge of your mat. Really think about lifting from the heart, lifting the toes, using all those muscles on the back body. And continuing your full breath here. Let's take 2 more rounds. And then with that second exhale, gently release everything down, turn one cheek, and just give your hips a little sway, releasing through the back. And then let's come back in for one more. So you can come into that same arm variation, come into airplane. You can send the fingers forward and pistol lock them, whichever version, coming up for 5. One more inhale, and then exhale again. Release everything, turn the opposite cheek. Release through the hips, a little sway. And then coming back, bring your hands by your heart and just gently press back into your table. Coming back up. Coming back into your neutral. So shoulders and hips balanced. And then let's bring the left hand center. Send the right fingertips to the sky. Open up through the front of your body, fingertips reaching. And then as you exhale, thread that right arm through. Come on down. Gently pressing the back of that right hand onto the ground. Just feeling that sensation travel through your back body, back to the shoulder blades, through the spine. Breathing fully. And take another full breath. We'll release and send that right hand back up to the sky. And then exhale, release it down. Come back to center. And just take a breath through your cat-cow. Take an inhale and an exhale. And then back to center, right hand underneath your gaze and send the left fingertips high. Twist open through the center of the body. Inhale. And then exhale, thread that left arm through. Gently press in the back of that left hand. Another inhale. And as you exhale, we'll release. Send the left hand back up. Open up again. And then exhale, bring it back down. Take an inhale through your cow or cat. And exhale, reverse. And then just walk your hands back toward your body, walk them up your knees, and we'll come into a heart opener here. So if your knees are sensitive, just doubling over your mat or coming onto a blanket or a towel, and then bring the hands to the back body, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then just gently lifting from the heart center. You can keep your gaze straight ahead or maybe bring it up toward the ceiling a little bit. Think about lifting up, softening down through the shoulders, just a few more rounds of breath. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, just slowly guide your hips back to your heels. Come back into your child's. Hands can come back by your heels as well. Forehead toward the earth. Another full breath. Release. Come on back up. Actually, we're going to bring our right foot forward. Bring up high over that left knee. Inhale, both arms high. And then as you bring the palms together through your heart center, we're going to take a twist to the right. So prayer twist, and then dropping that left elbow inside, on top of, outside the knee, pressing the palms, and really just feeling that twist through the center of your body, through your middle, through your spine. And just breathing as deeply as you can here. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, release, come back to center. Send the arms high, send the heart high, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, release the hands. And let's just step that right foot forward a little bit more so that you can come into a low lunge. So you can be on tented fingertips, using your blocks here. My blocks forward. Or you could stay up a little higher if your hips are tight. So whichever version to start to lengthen through that left hip flexor, grounding into the right side heel. Softening the shoulders, and just starting to breathe into the hips. Softening the shoulders down your back and just breathing. Another full breath. And then slowly start to guide your hips back, flexing the right toes to the sky. And coming into that hamstring stretch. So flexing the toes as strongly as you feel comfortable so that you really feel that lengthening sensation all through the back of your right leg. And then take an inhale and try to lengthen through the spine a little bit. So maybe you come to fingertips, or you come back up to your blocks, lifting through the heart. And then as you exhale, release back into your fold. Letting the gaze and the crown of the head drop a little bit. Just sending your breath to the back of that leg, trying to soften into the pose. Take another full breath. And then with your next inhale, we'll just come forward, back into the lunge, take a breath in as you lengthen the heart, and then exhale, guide the hips back. And just moving with the breath a little bit in each direction. And one more time in each direction, forward and back. And the next time you come forward, pause there. We're going to tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, and then step the back foot in, about a foot or so, We'll come into our pyramid pose. So feet are about hips width, and they're far enough apart that both heels can comfortably come to the earth. So if the back foot is too far back, you're not going to be able to get that heel all the way down, so step it in a little bit further. The back toes can be turned out just a little bit. And then either using your blocks or coming to fingertips, take an inhale and lengthen through the spine. Really try to guide that right hip back. So if you're open too much, you're going to get less. If your hamstrings are tight though, that's where it's going to pull you. So you can bend that front knee a little bit if you need. But lengthen as you inhale. And then as you exhale, drop the crown of the head and drop the gaze coming into your fold. Just breathing deeply. Another full breath here. And then inhale and come back to fingertips, come back to that length. And with the left hand under your shoulder or maybe on a block, bring the right hand to the right hip crease, guiding it back and slowly just start to twist open to your degree. You can take that right hand to the sky. You can keep it on the back of your body. We're trying to twist the heart open. Stay grounded through both feet. Gaze can be straight ahead. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release. And then walk both hands over to the left. And maybe heel toe your feet a little bit wider. So coming into a wide-legged fold. The fingers underneath the gaze. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then as you exhale, drop the crown of the head and come into your fold. Hands can stay underneath your gaze, or they can walk to the sides of your feet or your big toes. Take another full breath here. And then bring the hands back under your gaze if they were not there. Inhale, lengthen. And then we'll turn and the feet back toward the front of your mat, walking the hands back. Pivot back onto the ball joint of that back foot. And then just drop back into your runner's lunge. So bending that front knee. If you want, keep that back knee lifted. You can always drop it back down. Either way, but grounding into that right heel and just coming back into that lunge. Just settling, taking a breath or two. Another inhale, and then exhale, drop the knee if you had it lifted. Send the hips back, flex the right toes, come back into the hamstring. Just another breath or two. And one more inhale. And then exhale, release, come back forward, and just bring that right foot back, the knee coming back into your table. Take an inhale through your cat-cow, just a nice reset. And then keeping either on your knees, or you can walk back to your toes. Walk your hands forward a little bit. We're going to come into a plank. So you can hinge forward, staying on your knees, or you can walk the toes back and lift the knees. But make sure that your shoulders are balanced over the wrists, that your hands are as wide as your shoulders at least. If your knees are lifted, your lower body is engaged here. In either variation, your core is working hard and your breath the hardest, the fullest, not the hardest, but it's working the most to fill your body. The oxygen energizing those muscles. I'd say for 2 more breaths. And with that second exhale, let's all lower the knees and then slowly lower all the way to our belly. So hinging the elbows to the back of the room, shaving the rib cage as you slowly come all the way down. And then bring the shoulders onto your back, lift the heart, come into your low cobra. And you can have your hands on or off the mat for this first cobra. We've done some back bending, so you can take your hands down and gently press a little higher if you want. Otherwise, stay low. Take another 2 breaths here. And if your hands were lifted, now bring them back down and just gently press all the way back into your child's pose. Hands can be forward or back by your heels, either place. Take another full breath here. And then coming back forward, back into your plank, either variation, supported or not. Back into that core, back into your breath. Maybe even close your eyes here and really just focus on the breath. One more inhale, and then either lowering the knees or if you want, keep them lifted and slowly lower again all the way to your belly. And then gently coming into your cobra, low, medium, high, whichever height variation feels good. Lifting the heart, shoulder blades on your back. Another inhale, and then exhale. We'll all send it back to our child's. One more full breath. And then one more time through, walking forward, back into your plank. Settle back in to your pose and to your breath. Let's take two more full breaths here. With that second exhale, slowly lower. And then inhale, coming into your back bend, your cobra. You know, you can scooch forward, come into high cobra or upward facing dog as well. Another breath in, and then exhale, send it all back to your child's pose. And one more full breath. And then release. Walk your hands back and then come back up to both knees. We'll take the left foot forward, staying high over that right hip stacked over the knee. Inhale, both arms high. And then bring the palms together through to heart center. And we'll take a prayer twist to the left. So finding that twist and then drop the right elbow. Press the palms into one another. Really feel that twist through the center of the body and through the spine. Filling the belly with breath. And one more full breath. And then as you exhale, release and come back to center. Send the arms high, lift the heart, inhale. And then exhale, release the hands and then bring them down. And we'll walk that front foot forward a little bit and you come into your version of your lunge. So grounding into that left heel so that the hips are still squaring. So those of you that can drop in, don't let your body drop all the way in to start. Try to keep the muscle energy on the left side, either your fingertips or on blocks, and just slowly letting your body settle into the lunge. Just breathing here. Another full breath. And then we'll start to bring this back into our hamstrings. So guiding the hips back, flexing those left toes, walking the hands back just a little bit. And then inhale to lengthen. So maybe come to fingertips. Try to lengthen the crown of the head forward. And then exhale, release into your fold. Dropping the crown of the head, dropping the gaze. Take another full breath. And with your next inhale, come back forward into your lunge. Lift a little bit from the heart, bring your gaze forward as you inhale. And then exhale, come back into the hamstring. Just moving on your breath a few times through, back and forth. Just bringing that fluidity into the hip. Next time you come forward, pause there. We'll tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, and then we'll step the back foot in to come into your pyramid. So stepping it in about a foot or so, 18 inches maybe. Make sure both feet are grounded, both heels are grounded, and then come to fingertips to lengthen through the spine. Try to guide that left hip back just a little bit, so grounding onto that left side still. And then as you exhale, drop the crown of the head, drop the gaze to the back of the mat, and try to soften as much as you can into this pose. Take another full breath here. And then with your right hand under the right shoulder or maybe on a block, bring the left hand into that left hip crease. Guide it back as you start to twist open to the left. That left hand can stay on the back body. You can send the fingertips high. Really trying to ground through both heels still, twisting open. Breathing fully. Take another breath in. And then exhale and release. Set that block aside if you're using. Step the back foot back into your lunge. You lifted or not, just taking another breath or two here. And then go ahead and lengthen that front leg, walking both hands over to the right, back into a wide-legged fold. So toes in, heels out. Bring your hands to your waist or to your hips, and with a long spine, inhale, come all the way to stand. And then we'll interlace the fingers on the lower back, come back into our fold with a shoulder opener. So squeezing the shoulder blades onto your back. Take an inhale, maybe lift the gaze a little bit, lift the heart, and as you exhale, come down into your fold. Just walking the gaze slowly, eventually dropping the crown of the head, dropping the arms overhead. Grounding into the outer edges of the feet. Take another full breath here. And then as you exhale, release the hands, bring them underneath your gaze, lift halfway and lengthen. And then exhale, release, and then walk your hands back to the front of your mat, to pivoting your toes back to face the front. coming onto the ball joint of that back foot, and then drop back into your lunge again, knee lifted or can be down on the ground. Just another breath here. And then releasing that, bring that left knee back to meet the right. Come back into your child's pose. Hands can be tented forward or back by your heels, forehead toward the earth. And then inhale, come back through your table. Come back into your plank. Settle back in. Take 2 more breaths here. And with that second exhale, we'll slowly lower all the way to our belly. Inhale, come into your back bend, your height of cobra. Take another breath in, and then exhale it all the way back to your child's pose. Inhale, and exhale, release, and just shift your hips to one side, swing your legs out in front. We'll come into a staff pose, so bring the legs straight out. Give it a little shake. Maybe moving the flesh behind the thighs, behind the rear, so you feel nice and grounded there, flexing the feet back toward your face. And then take an inhale, lift both arms, lengthen up. And as you exhale, come forward into your fold. You can bend your knees here a lot or a little so that you can round into this a little bit. If you have a block or a pillow, you can put it underneath the knees for a restorative version of the fold. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more full breath. And then inhale, come on back up. Nice long spine. And then we'll come into a seated twist. So bending the right knee, bring the sole of that foot inside that left leg. Bring the right hand behind for support as you start to twist to the right, twisting the ribcage a little bit. And then send the left fingertips high. Inhale and lengthen. And then exhale, come into your twist. Keeping a gentle flex in those left toes. You can reach around the outside of that leg, or you can bring the elbow inside. But wherever you are, try to stay as tall as you can through the spine. Lengthening as you inhale, just softening slightly as you exhale. Take one more full breath. Exhale, release back to center. Let that right knee drop open and move the left leg off to the left just an inch or two. Come into a Janu Shirsasana. Inhale, both arms high, and then turning your torso over that left leg. Exhale, come into your fold. Sending the breath into the back body, the lower back. One more full breath. And then using an inhale, come on back up. And let's release. And we'll take the other side, bending the left foot, bending the left leg, sorry, the left knee. And bringing the left foot inside the right, left hand behind, right fingertips to the sky. Inhale and lengthen. And then exhale, coming into your twist. Gentle flex in those right toes. Sitting as tall as you can through the spine. Breathing into the twist. One more full breath here. And then gently releasing. Let that left knee drop open and the right leg can move open to the right just an inch or so. Inhale both arms high, lengthen up, and then as you turn the torso, exhale into your fold, Janu Sirsasana on the right. Sending the breath into the lower back and high hip area. One more full breath. And then inhale, come on back up. Let's bring that right foot in to meet the left. Come into your bound angle, Baddha Konasana. Scoot your pelvis and heels close together. You can interlace your hands underneath the toes. Sit up nice and tall. Soften the shoulders down your back. Let the knees open to your own body's degree. Just take a few breaths, letting the body settle in here. Let the eyes get heavy and just focus on a few more inhale and exhales. Another breath in. And then exhale, release that. And we'll send both feet wide. Your own width to your degree. Flexing the toes, flexing the heels. Knees are pointing straight up to the sky. And just take a breath or two here. You can bring your hands right in front and just starting to lengthen through the inner thigh and the groin. Breathing into that sensation. Another 2 breaths. And we're going to add a side body stretch. So if you're comfortable with this width, stay. Otherwise, you can bring your legs a little bit closer. Bring the right hand to the right leg. Left fingertips high. Take an inhale, lengthen, and then exhale. Take it over to the right. Feeling that left side body lengthen. Really reaching the left fingertips over toward the right. Try to keep your heart twisting open. Notice if you start to dial down toward the earth. So really try to keep the heart and the ribs opening toward the front of the room. Take another full breath. And then with an inhale, come on back up. And we'll take the other side. Left hand resting, right fingertips high. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale. Take it to your degree into the side stretch. Full breath. And an inhale, come on back up. And then just gently walk your legs back toward one another. Maybe give a little shake and then just turn so that you are the long way on your mat if you were turned differently. And we're going to come down to our back through our boat pose, through our core. So make sure you're in the middle of your mat. You have enough room behind you to come back. And then bring the knees in toward your chest and maybe start with your hands underneath the thighs so that you can really lift from the heart and lengthen through the spine. Toes are about eye level. And then when you're ready, engaging through that core, remove the hands, remove that grip and send them forward. And then maybe lengthen out the legs a little bit, maybe move the arms away from the body a little bit. You find the place where your core engages and you can begin your 10 count from there. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hug the knees into your chest, maybe a little rounding through the spine. If it feels okay in your back, you can rock back over the length of the spine once or twice. And then we'll come back up to our boat. Come back up to that place where you just were. And again, we'll start from there. 10. We'll hold for the first 5, and then we'll lower for the second 5. 9, 8, 7, 6, and then we'll start to slowly lower and expand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come all the way down. Take an inhale and open mouth exhale. And then we'll come into a bridge pose. So bending the knees, setting up for your bridge, feet about hips width and parallel. And then as you inhale, imprint the lower back. And then as you exhale, ground through the heels, start to lift the hips, walk the shoulder blades together, maybe interlace the hands, bring the gaze straight up, and then continue to ground through the heels as you lift the hips. And then breathing for 5. And one more inhale. And then slowly making your way back down, walking the shoulder blades apart and coming down one vertebrae at a time. Bring the soles of the feet together in a Supta Baddha Konasana. Reclined bond angle. Hands can just rest by your sides or the tops of your thighs, or one on your heart, one on your belly, wherever they're comfortable. Let the face start to soften. Let the breath settle back down. And then gently guiding these back toward one another. Hug them into your chest. Let your whole back body just get heavy and soft on the mat here. Feel the lower back, maybe the sides of the lower back, the mid back, and the shoulders. And then let's just come into inversion for about 10 or so breaths. You can come into your legs up, or you can come into shoulder stand if you prefer. Legs up as a block or a support underneath the lower back. Whichever version you're feeling this morning, but letting the face soften, maybe the eyelids get heavy. Letting all the parts of your body that are touching the earth get a little heavier. And as you come back into your own easy pace of breath, notice if the thoughts start to pick back up into your head, where we tried to calm them this morning. And try to focus on the breath for a little bit longer, keeping those thoughts on pause. If you're in shoulder stand, starting to make your way into plow. If you're in legs up and you want to come through plow, you can do that as well. Just bring the toes overhead, lifting the hips a little bit, and bringing the toes toward the back or toward the top of your mat. And then we'll all make our way out, hugging the knees back into the chest, and then dropping them to the right, and bringing the gaze and that left arm out to the left. Another breath on this side. Come back through center. We'll switch sides. Knees to the left and gaze, and that right arm out to the right. One more breath here. And then coming back to center, preparing for your Shavasana. Any other last movements that your body's craving before you extend everything long. Come into your final stillness. Extending the heels to the corners of your mat, the arms long. Take an inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And really let that help to soften your physical body. Settling onto your mat. Softening the muscles on your face. Settling back into your natural pace of breath. If you have more time today to stay in your Shavasana, it was a little shorter than usual, then please do. If you want to come out with us now, start to bring some awareness back to your physical body and to your breath. Some gentle movements. With your next inhale, take the arms overhead, give yourself a nice long stretch, and then exhale, hug the knees into your chest, nice squeeze, and then dropping everything to one side, taking another deep, full breath there. And when you're ready, making your way back up to a comfortable upright. We'll bring the hands together at our heart center. And pause here, bringing back to mind our intention, dedication, or thought. And breathing it in, seeing it clearly in the front of the mind, bringing our hands to our crown to honor those thoughts, to our throats, honoring our words, to our hearts, honoring our souls, and the light that shines in each one of us. Namaste. Thank you, guys.